And today's class will be gentle. So start as we so often do, by lifting and rolling the shoulders, bringing the hands to the heart centre, and just looking to the tips of the fingers. And taking a couple of in and out breaths. And then for mind focus creativity is something called Hakini Mudra. So you just bring the tips of your fingers together, just looking at them. There is energy that escapes from the fingers. You've got a lot of energy points. They're called nadis in the fingers and the hands. And connecting the fingers together is said to focus the energy back into the body and letting it escape. So it increases the almost invisible electrical pulsing back into the body. And then just drop the fingers, lift and roll the shoulders again. And breathing in, raise both hands up, stretch up, and breathing out, lower the hands. Soften the knees to make it easier for you. Breathing in, hands up, breathing out, hands down. And one more time as we breathe in, hands up. Hands to shoulder height. If that's too strong under the arm, just bend your elbows and turn to look beyond the fingers of one hand. Come to the centre with your head, and as you breathe out, turn to look beyond the fingers of the other hand. Come to the centre and lower the arms. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then just either with the fingertips or the knuckles, just tap around where the collarbones meet, the collarbone and the shoulder heads meet, just around that point, maybe a little bit in. And this connects to your vital energy. The point, the acupressure point, is called K27, so it relates to the kidney energy, and kidneys represent and connect into the water and the kidneys, which represent part of our emotional being, and in balance, vitality and life essence, and out of balance, often fear. So just tapping there. And then very weirdly, just realigning the head from stresses. Just get your fingertips and just tap on the top of the head. You can tap around it, tap a little bit further down. Again, very hard to hold tension when you're doing this. And just very, very gently release the hands back down, lift and roll the shoulders. Circle the wrists up, stretch up, almost open out like a star. Lifting the chin slightly, you're lifting up from the chest. Bring the head upright as you circle the arms down. And again, circle the wrists up, stretch out, and circle them down. And then just shake all the energy out, getting rid of any negativity, any negative thoughts. And then just lift your right foot and just move your ankle, circle it one way and then the other way. If you can balance on your foot, just shake it out, your foot out. I'm going to lose balance very quickly, as I have done. And then, well done. I've really lost the plot. No. And then just come to the other foot, just circle it one way and then the other. Have you got George with you?
He's outside the door here, but I could hear him squeaking on his giraffe thing.
Oh, they are very knowing. And then just shake your leg out. And then just come to a very familiar swaying from side to side. Natalie's little dog, I don't know if you were there when she said, kind of got disturbed by a fox and then chewed the fence, and one of her teeth is half in, half out, so she's going to have a tooth out. But the quote for a doggy tooth removal, one tooth, for a dog is £750.
What?
I mean,
Suppose isn't it?
yeah, I mean, just when Toby, our little pooch, we used to give him a scale and polish, and this was years ago. He's been dead for 6 years, and it cost us for a scale and polish. They had to give him a general anaesthetic, and it cost about £500 then to clean his teeth. I mean, he had beautiful, sparkling, gorgeous, teeth, and his breath smelled gorgeous. And he was a delight. But £500 is you really have, you spend it really, don't you, on your dogs? But just such a lot of money. Anyway, and then just come to stand still and just lift and roll the shoulders. Bring the hands to the heart centre and circle the arms up, clasp and reverse, press up, and then just laterally to one side a couple of times. Come up to the centre and laterally to the other side a couple of times. Come to the centre and then lower the arms. Bring one hand to the navel and one hand and the back of the hand is probably easier if you bring it to the back so that you're just supporting yourself. And turn to look over your left shoulder. You're rotating your whole body here so it becomes a rotation. And then come to the centre. And you can swap hands if you find that easier. And turn to look over your right shoulder. And then come back to the centre. Release the hands, lift and roll the shoulders. Then clasp your hands behind your back, aim the knuckles to the ground and open up your shoulder heads. Just lift your hands slightly away from you and turn to the left. Come to the centre and turn to the right. And come to the centre. Release the hands and breathing in, raise the hands up, stretching the third finger of each hand. And then just circle the wrists down. And lift and roll the shoulders. Breathing in, open the arms out. And breathing out, hug yourself. Soften your knees, bend in, chin to chest, and just rock from side to side. You're opening your upper back. You're stretching out the back of the neck. Chin to chest activates the vagus nerve, which is calming for the nervous system. Then breathing in, stand up, and then just open the arms again. Try and remember which arm was on top, and then do it again with hopefully the other arm on top to balance you out, and then just sway from side to side. Stretching out the back, top of the neck. And then just release arms alongside you. And as you lift and roll your shoulders, just connect your fingertips to the collarbone and just circle your elbows a few times forwards. You can connect your elbows together, but if that's too much, just make the circular movement to suit your shoulders today. And then very gently circle your elbows backwards. And just release the arms back. So half salutes to the sun, breathing in, hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees as you circle your arms up, stretching up. Palms together, come through the heart centre, soften your knees, and then slide your hands onto your shins, half lift. Press your hands into the shins, lengthen along the spine, chin to chest. Breathe out, soften your knees and soften your elbows. Breathe in, half lift. And then stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And then breathing in, hands up. And breathing out, hands down. Back to hands together at the heart centre. Breathing in, soften the knees. Circle the arms up, stretching the third finger. Palms together. Come through the heart center. Soften the knees. Hands go onto the shins. Lengthen, half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Breathing in, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, soften your knees, press your feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up. Lift your chin if you are able to with your neck to look slightly up, but then bring your head upright to lower your hands back down alongside you. And last time, hands together at the heart center. Soften the knees, circle the arms up, stretching up, palms together. Come through the center. Hands onto the shins. Breathing in, half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Breathing in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe. Soften your knees, press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, raising the hands up. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand, stretch your left wrist up, and then just very gently come over towards the right. Breathing in, come to upright, and then hold your right wrist with your left hand. Just come over to the left. You're almost pulling out of your waist, really stretching on the right side. Come to the center, stretch up, and then hold your thumbs together as you sway palm, just very gently swaying from side to side. And it's a reminder that the tree gets its strength from not being rigid, but from being flexible. But Jamie accused me this morning of just being rigidly fixated on finding the car keys, that I wasn't going with the flow, which was even more irritating. But anyway, just come to the standstill and then lower your hands back down. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then come to kneeling on all fours in tabletop. And do a couple of cat-cows. So hands are shoulder width apart and knees are hip width apart. Just sway your hips from side to side. And start to involve your head to look over one shoulder. So normally you would look over the shoulder one way and your hips with the opposite direction, but whatever works for you is fine. You're just beginning to very considerably contain the movement to the back, but you're supported by your hands and your knees. And then come back to the centre and breathing in, tuck the toes underneath, looking either up or along the mat. And as you breathe out, flatten your feet and round your back, chin to chest. Breathing in, dipping the back, tuck the toes. And breathing out, flatten your feet, rounding chin to chest. And again, a few times in your own breath pattern, tucking your feet as you breathe in, looking up and flattening your feet as you round chin to chest. And then just maybe have your knees a little bit wider. And come to have your bottom high and your elbows, your hands on the floor, stretching your arms out in front of you. It's puppy pose. You can have your elbows, as I said, on the floor. You can have your elbows off the floor. That's slightly stronger. Bring your bottom back. Just find a nice spot where you feel you're stretching your upper back. Taking a couple of breaths in and out. Even in this position, in yoga, you would engage your tummy inward slightly engage your perineum up as you, some traditions have you do it when you breathe in, others have you do it as you breathe out, but just exercising the pelvic floor muscles is the aim. And then take the left arm across your body and stretch your right arm out. So this becomes quarter dog. You can rest your head, your forehead on your left forearm or on the floor, depends how far you want to go down. Just lightly stretch out your right side. Bottom is still up. It's a very nice way of doing dog. It's called quarter dog, but without all the weight on the body. And then slide the right arm back, right arm goes across the body and extend the left arm, resting the forehead either on the mat or on your right forearm, stretching out the left side. Quarter dog on the left side. And then sliding back, and then just very gently dropping the bottom to the side and stretching the feet out. Just balancing your feet, flesh out from under the bottom. So Paula, if ever you are stuck trying to go to sleep again, there are lots of sleep things, but one of the very easy things to do is either to simply lie on your right side, which brings your left nostril in prominence, so that you, as you lie on your right side, your left nostril is breathing, and that tunes into the left side, it tunes into the left Ida side of one of the meridians going through the body. It connects through at the nose area, and it's calming for the nervous system, so it's more sleep-inducing. If you then go onto your right side, that is more energizing, and it connects into the right side, but also the liver and the gallbladder on the right side. And that's called the Pingala energy meridian. This is in Ayurveda, which is the Indian side of yoga medicine.
Best to lay on your left side.
So to go to sleep, lay on your right side so that your left side is up and getting more air in, which is calming for the nervous system. But while we're here, I will include a breath work, which is calming as well, but I won't do it just yet, just on reading. So just bounce your legs and toes up and toes away. We're just getting circulation into the body. We don't think of the left and the right side of the body as being different, but the heart's on the left side. On
my left side, I can feel my heart. I don't like it.
On your left side, if you lie on the left side.
Yeah.
So if you lie on your right side,
that's fine.
That's fine, and that is more calming for the nervous system, and for sleep. And in yoga, when they ask you to get up, just begin to circle your ankles. They always ask you to lie on your right side to put less pressure on the heart, so that you come up with less blood flowing through the left side and away from the heart, which is more restful for the body. And it's the same with the breath, that the breath is more restful on the left side. So in order to get access and then circle your feet in the opposite direction, in order to get that, you lie on your right side, which exposes the left side more. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We'll do a breath work thing as well. But we think, the body's the same, and just bounce and rub your legs. But you think, well, the left side has the heart on it, so the left lung is smaller than the right lung. And then all these little differences, you think, Sue will say that your digestive system, it works from the right through to the left, so we digest, it goes across and then goes down the colon. So we think, our body's equal, but it's not. And our feet are all different sizes, our hands, left and right hand, the right and left side of the face is different. So it's quite, we think we're the same, but we're not.
There's a lot of difference between the size of the left and the right lung. A lot of difference. And you see.
Is there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's space for the heart, you say.
But again, these little differences are just quite sort of, we're not aware of them in day-to-day life. So just have your legs out in the V, bring the flesh out from under your bottom, and this is just extend your heels, lengthen your body, in other words, just touch your fingers to either side of you, sit up, so it's uplifting for the mood, lifting up at the chest. Oh, has he come in? Oh no, it's your feet. I was thinking, have you relented and let George come in? You haven't. There's a turn to your right, and then just walk your hands down your right leg to your right shin. Be aware that you're turning slightly to your right leg, and just notice how much you squash your right lung on your right side as you turn to the right. So the instruction would be to lead with the chest and try and make each side, which I think is impossible, but equal in length, which means probably coming down less to achieve that, but maybe more, I don't know, just play with that. So coming forward is calming for the nervous system, so for anxiety. But sitting up is good for depression, so uplifting for the mood. So they're two distinct things. And then just very gently slide the hands up the right shin, connecting your hands to either side of the mat, and then just turn to the left side and just walk your hands down your left side, your left shin. You can have your hands on your shin or either side of your leg. Just turn your body, and again, lead with the chest so that you've got the sensation that you're not crunching up on the left side, but both sides are equally, either side of the ribs are equally extending. Chin to chest, calming for the nervous system. You're opening your, giving space to your inner groin, which is your lower lymphatic system, and then just very, very gently walk your hands back up. Just support your legs underneath and bring the soles of the feet together. Any thoughts for the day, Sue?
What do you want to know?
Any sleep or calming or any?
Well, it's a point I often go to, which is the solar plexus point, which is just under the balls of the feet in the centre where there's like a dip. So you go right down, they probably can't see me, but if you show, just down to the middle. So down in the middle, yes, underneath the bone, but in the middle, yes, and that's where there's, so if you press in quite hard, there's like a sort of space there in between the bones.
Yeah.
And you can feel a little sort of point as you press it in, it sort of zings a bit. So don't press it too hard, but that's quite relaxing if you're feeling anxious.
Or sleep deprived.
Yeah, it's just calm. It's calming.
What?
When you're sleep deprived,
Yes. But you can get anxious when you're feeling tired and can't sleep and stuff. So it's quite calming.
Because I'm like, oh my God, I've got to do all these things tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's you can do it one at a time or both together, whatever you feel. Just gently pressing the reflex point there. It's just quite. Sometimes if you press it a bit hard, if you're feeling very anxious, it does actually hurt underneath. But if you just press it nice and gently and just rub gently around that area, it's quite soothing.
So just remove all murderous thoughts from your mind.
My God.
I do understand, exceptional cases, you do get long married couples murdering each other. They can't stand each other any longer. It's just obviously something's tipped them over the edge.
Well, we all have these thoughts, but we don't usually carry them out.
No.
Yeah. Indeed.
Oh, I sometimes say to people, it's a good job we're married, you're not having to go through any kind of courtship ritual, because I might have given up. Well, he might have given up on me. I mean, that's, it works two ways, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
So before we come to sitting down, I did say to you that I would focus on breath for sleep. So just come, you don't have to come cross-legged at all, you can come with your feet out. I just happen to be cross-legged. So if you are really, I want to go to sleep, just take your right hand and the right thumb and just block your right nostril. And then only breathe in and out through your left nostril.
I'll probably drop off to sleep in the middle of this.
So you're just breathing in and out through the left nostril, and that is deeply calming. The left side, the energies are slightly different from the right side. And again, going back to Ayurveda, it connects into the moon side, or the yin side of the body. The calming, hidden, feminine energies. The right side is connected to the sun, where you've got the more aggressive solar energies connecting into the liver and the gallbladder. But the moon is very much the passive side of us, the softer, gentler side. And in terms of sleep inducing, it can be very helpful. So, another very calming breath is to just release that for a moment and see if you've noticed any difference. You can breathe in through the left nostrils for about 5 to 10 breaths and then through the right nostril. But if you are looking for a soporific effect, then just breathing in through the left nostril will calm that left side down. And then just coming to lying on the mat, knees bent, feet hip width apart. And again, quite calming for the nervous system. If you place your hands on your abdomen, your tummy, your elbows will be out slightly at the side. In your own breath pattern, breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Charlotte, if she were here, she's actually on a cruise today, how nice, will tell you that it relaxes the muscles and all the blood in the muscles, and then the blood flow releases and relaxes. It increases your nitric oxide intake into the body, and it has a very calming effect on the nervous system, which will of course have a soporific effect, because it will reduce anxiety. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth is another very helpful one. And it gives you a focus as well, because when you're anxious and can't sleep, if you can't think about anything, your mind's jumping a lot, but this gives it a very slight focus, but not too much that it's stressing you. And if you wanted to give it further focus, but it's not necessary, you can count your breaths up to either 5 or 10 and then start again. So again, you've got to focus, but that's not particularly necessary. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth is quite helpful in calming the system down. And then let that breath go. Maybe have your feet slightly wider than hip width apart, and your hands can either rest on the abdomen, on your tummy, or can be palms down alongside you, or you can even have them elbows bent above you. We're going to sway our knees from side to side. Whether you sway a little bit or sway right over is up to you. The wider you have your feet, the easier and the more your hips will lift off the ground, but the more of a massage across your bottom you'll get, and the more your knees will drop into the centre on either side. But then, I mean, the added benefit here, which you won't get when you're asleep and you've got a pillow underneath you, is that you can start to roll your head from side to side, which again is calming because you're going across some acupressure points at the back of the skull. You would normally roll your head away from the direction of the knees, but if you find that your knees are going in the direction of your head, then that's absolutely fine. And just enjoy the swaying from side to side. And then coming to the centre, maybe adjusting your feet to feel comfortable, and hug your left knee into your chest. Just enjoy this apana, hugging in. That again can be quite soothing for the whole nervous system. Taking an in and out breath here. Dropping your hands underneath your thigh, your left thigh, and raising your leg to the ceiling, your left leg to the ceiling. Extend the heel and point the toes, and then just circle the left ankle a few times in one direction, and a few times in another direction. And then bend the left knee into the chest and open the left knee to the left, resting the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Hands back down, either palms down alongside you or resting on your abdomen, as you just sway your knees from side to side. And again, the sway can be minimal or it can be more exaggerated, and your hips will lift off the ground. So this is an upside down pigeon, it's a figure of 4. Again, opening for the hip, helpful for the lower back. And then coming to the centre of your knees, hug your left knee into the chest again, and supporting your left knee, your left leg to place the left foot on the floor. And just sway your knees a couple of times to either side. As you then bring your focus to the right side and hug your right knee into your chest. Just enjoy that hugging in. And then very gently drop the hands to the right, underneath the right thigh, and raise the right leg up to the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot, and then coming to circling the foot a couple of times in each direction. And then hugging the right knee into the chest and opening the right knee to the right ankle on the left thigh. Hands either palms down on the ground or on the abdomen, and sway the knees from side to side. An option my mum got very good at doing with my dad when he snored was to get Dad's breath on the in-breath just before he breathed in, and she would gently nudge his ribs, which would disturb his breathing rhythm, and it would stop his snoring for a while. Sometimes it was successful completely, and other times she might have to repeat it a couple of times.
I'll try that.
And then very gently hugging your knee into your chest, and then hug the left knee into the chest. Just rock both knees from side to side. You're just rolling from side to side on your back as well, the back of the head. How much you roll from side to side is up to you. And then come to the centre with your knees, and in your own breath time, your knees can be wider apart if you want to not squash your tummy. Hug both knees into the chest, and let both knees move away to arm's length. And just do that a few times, hugging in and letting them drift away. You're using the weight of your body to give your lower back a massage. You're working on the apana energy, which is your foundational energy. If that's out, all energies are out. It's the energy that connects into, in Ayurveda, into the Vata dosha. And Vata being out, it equates to pain. So this is a very pain-relieving pose. And you'll note that it kind of almost represents the fetal position as well. Very soothing and protecting. And the blood seems to go all the way along the spine, all the way up to the head. It's pulsing the blood right up to the head, so it is very soothing. And then before we place our feet back down onto the earth, just slide your hands down the shins, hold above your ankles. I've got my knees out to the side, so it's almost like a variation of cobbler's pose where we sat and massaged our feet. This is with your feet off the ground, the big toe joints are vaguely aiming towards each other, and you'll feel the stretch in your inner groin, and again it's very opening for space. Very good for husband's prostate health, giving space in that area because it links into the lower groin. Then you can stay static or just slightly wobble from side to side. Take an in and an out breath, and then hug the knees into the chest, and then support them if you need that support to bring the feet back down to the ground. And this time, knees are up to the ceiling, feet are on the ground, and palms are palms down alongside you. Just take a couple of pelvic tilts, flattening the back and then moving the tailbone towards the floor so that there's a gap under the back. And then just come to neutral and bend the elbows and raise the elbows above your head. You can hold your wrist, your forearms, and just keep your hands above your head, stretching out under the arms. So we're now coming to the upper lymphatic system. And just do a couple of pelvic tilts here, flattening the back and releasing with the arms stretched out underneath. If for any reason that pulls under your arms and it's too strong, then you can lower your arms and place your hands on your waist, so that there's less of a pull under your arms. It is very opening for the upper lymphatic system. And you can keep with the pelvic tilt, or you can press your feet down and actually lift your bottom up off the ground into a very soft half bridge posture. Chin goes to the chest, and then breathing out, lower the back to the ground. Your hands are still, elbows are still above you. And take a couple of pelvic tilts. If you want to come up again, please do, but just take your time, just lifting your bottom up, chin to chest. And then breathing out, lower the back down to the ground. Hug the knees into the chest. And then just drop your hands underneath your thighs, clasping under your thighs, legs up to the ceiling. And just very gently sway your legs from side to side. So this is a mini inversion. We didn't do down dog with dog today, and down dog is a very easy way to get an inversion into the practice. But this is the inversion. So that the back movement has been balanced, and a yoga class is based, a yoga class should have all movements of the back included within it, however subtle, to balance the complete movement of the body, because the back is so central to the body that the yoga class movement is based on the back. And and you'll get the poses classified in various ways, either along the chakras or in the movements. So you have there the back bends and the forward bends, the lateral stretches, the extensions, rotations. And then just very gently hugging the knees into the chest. And then coming back to that sleep thought again, in order to come up to a seated position, roll to the right, which is away from your heart. So if you wanted to sleep, and you couldn't be bothered to do your breath work, just lying on your right side exposes your left side, and again it's more soporific and calming inducing than the other way around. And then coming up to a seated position when you're ready to suit you. And we'll finish with some somatic movement. So just connect your hands to either side of your head. Your thumbs might come behind your ears. Your head might slightly come forward to elongate the back of the neck. Take a couple of breaths here. The sensory feeling movement, which defines somatic movement, overrides the mind and disconnects, in the theory, the mind from the stress centres of the brain. So it becomes a mindfulness practice in that it's removing, through the sensory touch, feel aspect of it, the mind, the thought, the overriding of the thought processes. So it's calming to the nervous system. And then just very gently drop one hand, it doesn't matter which, to the occiput at the back of the head, the bit that sticks out, and one hand to the forehead. Your head might come down so that you're not straining your neck. And just press both hands towards one another. So again, you've got a sensory aspect to this movement. Hard to retain thoughts when you're like this. Keep the hand at the forehead and drop the hand at the back of the head to the heart centre. So you're going to sit up a little bit more there. You're lifting the chest. So lifting the chest is uplifting for the mood, so it's anti-depression. There's a difference in Ayurveda between depression and anxiety. Anxiety, is like a stress out when you get caught in traffic or Kingston Hospital and the pharmacy, that's stress. But depression is a very much more long-term, sort of miserable weather type feeling. And then keep your hand at the heart and drop your hand to the navel. And again, your chest will still uplift slightly. And then, oh, hello, mummy. And then hands to the heart, dropping your chin to your chest, and maybe have a thought for the day, for yourself or someone close to you. And then just dropping your hands to your knees, palms up, and just connect your fingers to your thumb to your second finger, third finger, fourth and little finger. Just second finger, third, fourth, fifth, and just do that a couple of times. This is one of the first tests that doctors do, so I'm told, taken from yoga for Parkinson's. Because people with Parkinson's cannot do this. They go wrong in their counting and they jump their fingers. So this is a very good training exercise for that. And again, it's a mindfulness exercise. And then just release the counting, chin to chest, hands to heart, taking a bow for yourself. Just swirl yourself in a cloud of colour of your choice today, offering protection for the day ahead.